when the lights go out, it's just pitch black. You don't see your hand in front of your face. I guess he was walking home one night and he slipped on a watermelon peel, and he got up. Oh, sorry, sir. I think this is how it went. I may have got it wrong, but Shifu, please teach me your skill. That was very good. And he's felt around to find this person, and it was a watermelon peel sitting around. He slipped on a watermelon peel. From then on, it was someone asked him, who is your teacher? He said, Chen Fokker and the watermelon peel.
No, somebody was around when he slipped on this watermelon?
No.
He just thought he
thought he got beat by someone. That's just amazing, right?
Oh.
For me as a martial artist, I like hearing these humorous anecdotes and things like this. I'm interested in it, which makes him a great character. But as a martial artist, I love the martial arts things he's done, right? I've heard wild stories about him too, of course. And
well, so, other than the sensationalism, there's a lot of really great.
When I was in '96, when I was in that's a good one. '96, when I went to the Master Lee school, the Japanese team was there, and we walked into the office with Master Lee, and Hong was in a different room. Well, first of all, I walked into the room and Shifu goes, "There's Master Hong right there, sitting there." And I was just quite nervous to meet the legend himself, and I looked over because I've seen pictures of him. I said, "Where is he?" It was that old man sitting right there. He looked very frail because this is after he suffered a stroke, I think, and he's very frail looking. But I thought, this can't be right. This is a frail old man. This is the man that throws people around. But anyways, after that, I shook his hand and I went to the office with Master Liu and Shifu, and Master Liu were sitting there. And Shifu asked him, "How is your skill?" To ask Master Liu, "How is your skill compared to Master Hong?" He goes, "Well, you missed it by a few minutes here when you guys came in. The Japanese team was here, and when the Japanese translator came up to Master Hong and asked him a move, touched his arm like this, and Hong turned like this, and he flew back into the wall. And Master Hong didn't actually know what was happening. He looked, "Well, what's going on here? Why did you fall down?" So, but we compared. He goes, "How is your skill compared to Master Hong?" And he says, doesn't even come close. He goes, "I need to ground to throw people. I still need to ground myself. My trajectory is very big. Master Hong is like a laser pointer. He just turns and he doesn't need the ground. He just sits and throws people." So that's just from those kind of things that. But another story was well, from let's say at 91, I came with Zhang Linren. The reason he said he got so good was because he was thrown into the bushes every day. He thought this was not nice for an old man to keep throwing him into the trees and the bushes. But later on in his life, he says, "Thank God he did that because this is how I got my skill." Because he actually threw me constantly, and other people never threw around. Just kind of touched me. Like I live every time I see him every year. My theory on when I do Tai Chi, I have the same theory. But I go there, he says the same words to me that I thought it was the right. But he feels he does it to me, I don't feel anything like that. So, but as we went on over the years, and I see him all the time, his progression jumps by light years compared to me. He just has a complete understanding of this style.
Well, and yet, even though you say it's complete, it continues to advance.
And it conforms to the right physics. It conforms to the right rules and principles of Tai Chi. He doesn't go. He never went. His form since '86 doesn't look any different to me. He has the same form, but his skill level is improved. Looks exactly the same. And this is one of the stories of Hong never changes either. In 1956, when he does the form on these certain bricks, he always lands on a certain brick. Why change it? It's perfect. Right.
Yeah, I remember at some point you mentioned there was a kind of pivotal experience when you first started learning with Joseph. That was either make it or break it for you. Would you mind touching on that again with us?
All right. I went to the high school where he was interning at, and it was a Tai Chi meeting at 3:30 after school. So, and I was already an instructor in martial arts as a teenager. And I like a teenager, you have a big ego about everything. You thought you were pretty good. So, Tai Chi meeting, I thought I'll take this guy on. Actually, I'll go in there and probably hurt this guy because Tai Chi, what can I do? So he was a Taiji meeting, so I sat in the back, and he saw me in the hallway showing off a lot. He goes, "You, why don't you come up here?" Okay, I'll come up there and I'll show you something. He goes, "Why don't you touch me?" I touched him. He goes, "Well, punch me as fast as you can." "Well, are you sure?" He goes, "Yeah." So I just cocked up and I ready to hit him. He just dropped me to my knees, and I don't know, I've never felt anything like that before. And in every trip I take with every one of his brothers or sisters, of Shifu's brothers and sisters in China, caused me that kind of same sensation. You touch and then you just go down. You touch and you go down. But it's a different way they do it, but it's always that sensation that your body can't do anything. Anyways, after that day with Shifu, that day I said, I quit Kung Fu. Yeah, I still continued on because you always question it. Is this right for me? What if I did this to him? So over the years, I also took more, like I said, I took many styles. And I was questioning. I went back to him, testing him. And he didn't know this. Now that he will. I tested him with Bagua. I was testing him with Wing Chun. And every time he proved me wrong. I thought, no, this Taiji can't take on this kind of speed of Wing Chun. He can't take the Bagua power of spinning. He did the same move to me, and I'm always shut up. See, the thing with Shifu is that even with all the disciples that we've met in China here, he's the only one that causes a sensation that makes me bounce up. And this is what you hear the stories of Hong. Hong never threw anyone up. He bounces people upwards.
Right.
And like I was telling some of my students, Shifu and Hong, maybe not the degree of Hong, Shifu can't do the same degree as Hong, but how is it a person, you cannot physically jump back 10 feet, you will go back 10 feet though. He cannot physically even football tackle you as hard as he can and send you back 10 feet. Both you doing one move in here, you would jump back that far and he didn't have to physically push you. Where did that power come from?
Yeah, he's not sweating.
He's not sweating. And I've seen pictures of some of my students on the digital camera where I'm airborne. I don't think I can jump that high. If I ran and jumped as hard as I could not jump that high. Where did that power come from out of my body? There's no power, obviously. So
this is trip number.
This is number 5.
Trip number 5 for you to China.
Right. This one confirmed lots of things for me.
Really? Do you have an example of some confirmation?
Let's just say, for example, I met the first day we met the push hands Master Lee students, we met the push hands champions, and Shifu always said to me, because I was quite proficient at wrist lock because of these people, and wrist lock quite fast, and he goes, "Don't wrist lock." And I've heard from other teachers too, and Hong says, "Don't wrist lock." Why do that? That's not skillful. So what happened was when I see these people do this, and I didn't get that word sensation anymore. Maybe because my skill level got a little bit better too. Now that I meet them again, or last 10 years ago, I met them before, and now I met them again. They can't do this to my body. They don't cause that sensation that I wanted to feel back in the days when I was young. And every one of them, even the old people, the older masters, the Hong disciples. Of course, they're older, so they cannot physically do other things, but they didn't cause that word sensation that I wanted to feel. I still respect them due to their training, and they're quite healthy, so most of them. But let's say, for example, who else did I meet?
Do they still emphasize wrist stuff more?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, I see.
Definitely. When they can't, when
all else fails,
they go back to the pain technique, right? They apply pain to you, and you're tired of almost seeing that over and over, right? You want to see another. Every time I see another Hong disciple, I want to see maybe this is the one, and I feel the same thing. You don't have to apply a lot of power on them; they'll still revert back to the push and shove and wrist lock.
So do you think somewhere if they were to abandon that locking out technique and stick with the Tai Chi, eventually they would go to another level?
Maybe not, because this has already been, some of them has practiced for 50 years. Mm-hmm. 50 years doing it wrong, you should have something. Mm-hmm. Some kind of power, right? But I think what happened to them is that they imitated. I've seen Hong footage. They're imitating Hong. Hong looks like that how they look. But Hong has a different kind of power. And like I said, I've never touched Hong myself as in feel his power. But in all stories, you bounce out. This is what Shifu can do. You always bounce out. I can apply as much force as possible. And see, when I touch these other guys, if I were to apply force or trickery, I don't think they can get me. But due to respect, or maybe, of course, they're more experienced than me, they'll probably snap my arm off.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But some of them, I've nudged them a bit, and I can feel I can get them, but I'm not going to do it because either they're going to hurt me, or they lose face. It's very embarrassing for them.
People who to a higher level, people who don't just want to move their arms around, who really understand the Tai Chi, and are quite realistic with how the body moves, they will flock to Shifu. Because from my belief, like I say, I'm rebellious. I will. If Shifu doesn't do it right, I will try to do something against him. But there's nothing you can do against him. And people right now, from his students I've seen across North America, we're similar in our thinking. This is why we go to him. We don't want to do the chi power thing, or just wave our arms around, or strengthen our muscles. He has a skill that we all would love to even get a drop of. And definitely it's expanding, definitely, because we can do things that other people can't.
So maybe even though we feel like complete amateurs, in many ways, maybe the Chinese contingent, tournament winners and national champions, they had like maybe a seed of I don't know, insecurity about what's happening elsewhere in the world, and they needed to prove themselves. I don't know. That might be a stretch.
Definitely. I'm sure many foreigners have come now over the last 10 years, and the big guys have come from overseas, and they can't do anything to them anymore.
Yeah.
So now they require speed, and they from the competitors, you see they're bigger now.
Yeah.
They're large guys. When you walk into the ceremony floor, you know who was the bystander, you know who was the competitor. They're just thick, right? So they themselves need big guys to handle the North American structure of this larger size. And yeah, definitely they can feel it.
Where would you like to see practical method as taught by Joseph and you and others? Where would you like to see it in 5 years?
5 years? Well, I hope we do not ourselves go into that realm where they are, the fighting, the competition. And I hope we can stay humble in 5 years. And again, who doesn't want the skill? And it's very difficult. I hope some of us can achieve even a little bit of that and pass it on. Because I don't want to see it die out. And there's one person that has it right now, and it's Shifu, and it's scary to see. Where Chen Faker had all these students, where's the one that was good? It was Hong. And out of Hong's thousands of disciples he has, we met the top ones on this trip. Where's their ability, right? And it's scary too, though. In 5 years, I'd like to see someone have what Shifu has a little bit, and of
enough
course,
to expand upon.
And hope he himself, is going to go on. We know it, but out of all his students and students of students, does one of us even have that ability to show? We can't even go demonstrate it. We can't touch someone and do the same thing, right? And I'm a little scared at the same time. 5 years from now, well, I just hope we don't go into the politics of the martial arts. What has been happening in China? My classmates here.
Now people speak of internal and external martial arts. Would you just quickly define both of those for us?
External martial arts requires muscle, speed, the ability to move very fast around your opponents. Internal martial arts, you still require a strong structure. The body has to be strong in both arts, the external and internal people. But we use it very different. We think on the inside. We think of how things move on the inside. Where external martial arts, whatever you see is what you get. However they move, it's a punch, it's a punch, it's a kick, it's going to hurt like this. Where internal, not to get into the mysticism side of it, there's no mysticism side to it at all. It's just that you move right, the inside has power.
We had a phenomenal bus driver on our trip. Do you have any comments about that?
Well, we spoke of Shifu. He's the Shifu of bus driving. All the times I've been in China, this guy is precision of driving. He's too calm about it too. It's not just his driving. Like, people can drive quite well. His face, his demeanor. What is that? He doesn't care, right? He just drives through anything. He's like driving through the eye of a needle.
Shape-shifting through, like morphing through this.
He was too calm.
Yeah.
That was just, you respect him even more because he was calm. Like his skill at driving is more skillful than some of the masters that did Taiji. I didn't look at them the same as his bus driver.
Yeah. He's a Jedi for sure.
Definitely. He had something. Another thing I got is because of shape and size. I realized this. Why do they look like a certain way? And Shifu said this to me. Regardless of how the Chinese.
Okay.
The local people. And Shifu said to me, regardless of how good you look on the floor, you will never look right. Because we don't have we don't live like them. We don't have the body shape. Even though I'm Chinese, I'm born in Canada. My rhythm is different. Everything is different about us. Our shape is very. Even the women that stand around, right? And this is why the Chinese martial arts were born here. Like, they will never look like our hockey players in Canada.
Right. Do you think that presents a limitation to Westerners?
Definitely. I think
it's a hurdle for them to
definitely,
overcome in terms of learning Tai Chi?
Definitely. But I say, stereotypically, North Americans are bigger. If any one of us, the bigger North Americans, actually get the skill, they might even be more powerful than Chen Pacher.
But Master Chin always likes to bring up the point that hardly any really advanced level martial artist was ever big.
Due to the fact because because the strength is there, they'll use it.
Yeah. They never had to get real clever or whatever.